Hello students, today we are going to learn the next poem of your course, the Ball poem written by John Berryman. Alright, now here in this poem, first of all, I am going to tell you the summary of this poem. Then we are going to read the poem in detail and simultaneously we will get to know the hard words and also the literary devices that have been used in the poem. Alright, so now to begin with, let me tell you the summary or the central idea of the poem, children. Now here, the ball in this poem personifies young days, happy days, innocence of childhood. Alright. Now here the writer is saying that there was a boy who was playing in the street. Clear? Now that boy was playing with a ball and his ball, bounced and went down the street and finally went into the sea. Clear? He lost his ball. He was grief stricken. Okay, he was very sad. He was full of sorrow that he has lost his ball. But he was responsible for his ball. He must have he was responsible to take care of his ball, which he did not take. Money was not that important, right? Because money cannot buy you your memories related to that ball. Clear? So this boy is standing over there, but then he realized that now he has lost the ball and he will have to move on. So here, as I told you in the beginning of the summary, that ball here personifies the young days, innocence and the happy days. Now, when the children are young, they are quite happy, they are quite innocent, right? But when they live in this world, they come across so many problems, so many challenges. Like they learn, how to live while they grow. Clear? And in that process, in that procedure, they lose their innocence. So here, same thing is being told to us that it depends on us how we take care of our happiness, how we take care of our innocence, how we cherish or live the innocence, or we lose it, the way the boy lost his ball. Alright, so this is a very simple poem, children, telling us that yes, we need to take care of our happiness and innocence. It depends on us because money cannot buy you your childhood days. Can money buy you your childhood days? No, not at all, isn't it? So you have to take care of your innocence and happy days and the childhood days. You need to cherish them, alright? You need to make them beautiful. You need to keep them with you. And if you, in the procedure of growing, you lose them, you will never get them back. The way this boy had to accept that my ball is lost and I cannot get it again, alright? Now here, the title of the poem is Ball Poem. It is a free verse. What do you mean by free verse, children? Free verse means when you do not have a fixed rhyming scheme. Alright, the lines are not rhyming with each other. It is a free verse. Now, we are going to learn the poem in detail. What is the boy now who lost his ball? Now, the writer is saying that what that boy is going to do or what that boy has become once the boy has lost his ball. As I told you in the poem, ball personifies the young days, the happy days and the innocence of this child. Alright, now what is a person without his innocence? When he loses his happiness, when he loses his childhood. Of course, we have to keep on moving. We have to live our life. We have to grow. Alright, and when we grow, we learn so many things in life and we have to understand that there are so many sorrows that are going to come in our way and we'll have to live with them. Clear? So the life teaches us all this, and this boy also has to learn that yes, he has lost his innocence, he has to grow up, and whatever loss he has faced. Here in this poem we saw that he had faced the loss of a ball, but in life we face so many losses, so many sorrows, right? And we have to live with those. We cannot stop life from throwing the challenges towards us. So this is the way we ought to live. Clear? So now what is the boy without the ball? The boy has lost his ball. What is he to do? I saw it going merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over there it is in the water. As I told you, the first paragraph is telling us that now what is that boy going to do? Because that boy is so sad. That boy is grief stricken. Why? Because he had lost his ball. The boy ball merrily. Merrily means happily, alright, cheerfully, and bouncing means jumping. That ball happily was jumping and went down the street and finally went into the sea. Alright, so now this boy is without his ball. Clear? Now, the literary devices, the first line, assonance has been used, children. What is assonance? The occurrence of vowel sound in a same line. Alright, so here we saw that O sound is occurring again and again in the same line. So what literary device has been used, children? Assonance. Now here twice anaphora has been used. Now what do we mean by anaphora? The word anaphora means when two lines begin with same word. Clear? It is known as anaphora. Now the first line is beginning with what? And the second line is also beginning with what? It is anaphora. The third line is beginning with merrily and the fourth line is also beginning with merrily. So it is anaphora. Right? So, and imagery. Imagery means when the words are able to create an image in our mind. Alright? When writer successfully creates an image in our mind through words. So here we can imagine that how the ball must have bounced, how the ball must have gone down the stairs and finally the street, and how the ball must have entered the water. Alright, so here we can imagine that picture. So it is imagery. And repetition. Repetition means when same word is repeated one after the other. Alright, in the same line. So here what has been repeated twice. So it is repetition. Clear? I'm revising once again, children. In the first paragraph, we saw that there is a boy and that boy is really sad. And why is that boy sad and upset? Because he had lost his ball. And how had he lost his ball? His ball, merrily bounced down the street and then went into the water. So here, as I told you, ball is personifying the innocence of that child. That child is now growing up. Clear? And when the child is growing up, he has to face so many problems in life, isn't it? And when a child is facing so many problems in life, that child is really sad, not exactly happy. So this child, the way a young child loses his ball, in the same way the growing up child, when loses his or her innocence or happy days, he or she is also very sad. Alright, so here, okay, so this was the first paragraph. Now coming on to the second paragraph. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. Now he is not the only one who has lost his ball. Alright, there are so many children, while growing up, they lose their innocence and happiness. They have to face the challenges of life. So, there are so many people who have lost their innocence in the process of life. Clear? An ultimate shaping grief fixes the boy. Ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy. Now that boy is standing still. He is so sad. He is full of sorrow. He is so upset because he had lost the thing which he loved the most. Here it is ball, but in real life, childhood is the most precious time, isn't it? And when we lose that time, only the child who has lost the childhood days or the child who had lost his happiness can understand what is the situation or what is the condition. Alright, so here he is standing grief-stricken. Now as he stands rigid means fixed, still, not moving, trembling, shivering, staring down all his young days into the harbor there. Now what do you mean by harbor? Harbor is a place where the ships are, posted, or ships are stopped, right? So here it is dock or port. Now the boy is standing still, saying nothing, doing nothing. He is really sad and he's not moving, but he's shivering because he's facing the challenges of life. He knows he had lost his happiness, so he's shivering, he's grief stricken, and he's just watching the water in which he had lost his ball. Alright. Now, repetition has been used, children, here because the word ball has been used several times over here. Alright. Yes. In the entire poem, the word ball has been used. Now, his ball went, I would not intrude on him. Intrude means interfere. Now, the writer is saying that, should he interfere? Nobody should interfere. Nobody can interfere in your life. Alright. Now, a dime. Dime means cents. Latin American currency is cent, and 10 cent means 1 dime. So, here he is saying that the ball costs only a dime. But can any money return your childhood, your happiness? No. So in the same way, he is saying that even if the writer will interfere, even if the writer is ready to help, even if the writer is ready to give the money, that wouldn't help because the child wants the same ball first of all, because emotions are attached to the same ball, isn't it? Second thing is, if we talk about the childhood days cannot return our childhood. Money cannot return our childhood. Money cannot return our happy days. Money cannot return our innocence, isn't it? So here money won't work. Alright? Another one. It is worthless. So money is worthless. Money has nothing to do with your lost childhood or lost innocence or lost young days. Now he senses first responsibility. Now it was the responsibility of the child to safeguard his innocence. If he has lost it, then he had to suffer, first of all. Now, second, the child is becoming responsible. The child is learning that once lost, I will never get it back. So, I will have to move on. The child cannot keep on regretting that he had lost his ball. He will have to, life is an ongoing process. Isn't it? Life will surely throw challenges at you, isn't it? Life will definitely put problems and hurdles in your way, isn't it? But can we stop? No. Can the childhood stop? No. Can we always have happy days? No. So life is an ongoing process. So here also, the writer is saying that though the child is grief-stricken, but he should have been responsible. First of all, he should have safeguarded his innocence. Second, if he has lost it, then he will have to move on. In a world of possessions, people will take balls. Balls will be lost, always little boy. Now, here what the writer is saying that this is a world. People live in this world. People are quite cunning. They'll take away your innocence. Alright, you will lose your innocence if you do any mistake. So this is how the life is. You cannot stop. You cannot, stop from going on. As I told that life is an ongoing process. So you will have to move on in your life, isn't it? So this is what is being told. Now here, let me tell you a few word meanings. Grief means sorrow. Rigid means fixed. Trembling means shaking. Harbor means port or dock. Intrude means interfere. Worthless means valueless. Alright. Dime means its currency. 10 cents equals to 1 dime. Now possession means ownership. Alright. So people of course like to have ownership over things. Right. But you cannot always have it. You can or you may lose your things. The way you lose your innocence and childhood. Now repetition, balls, the same word has been repeated twice. Now and no one, little boy. Now and no one buys a ball back. Money is external. Now here alliteration has been used. What do you mean by alliteration? The occurrence of consonant sound in two adjacent or closely related words. Now B. Now here we see that B is the beginning of two words. Right? So it is alliteration. Now he is saying that no one in this world can return you your childhood. No one in this world can return you your young days or happy days. Clear? Even money will not return you your happy days or childhood days. So you need to safeguard it. You need to protect it. You need to be more responsible, to save your childhood. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes. Now he is hopeless that he will get his childhood days back. He is learning how to live. This process in life, when we lose something, it teaches us a lesson how to be more responsible. So this boy is definitely hopeless that he will ever get his ball back. But this boy is learning something very precious, that is to become responsible. And second thing, once lost, you will never get it again. Third thing, you need to learn to face it. Yeah. Now, the epistemology of loss, how to stand up. What is the boy learning? Epistemology is a Greek word which means knowledge, wisdom. Wisdom of loss. When you know, when you understand, and when you are, when you really get to know that once lost, you will never get it back. So this is the epistemology of loss. This is the law of nature that you understand. Alright. So here the writer is saying that once lost, you will never get it back. Either you need to be responsible towards it to save it, and you need to understand, or you need to face that sorrow or face that grief. Knowing what every man must one day know, and most know many days how to stand up. So how to stand up in life? Everyone knows, everyone is living, everyone is coming across problems. Children have different kind of problems. Now the grown-ups have different kind of problems. Everybody is facing problem, and everybody, learns to stand up, to take a stand for one own self, to learn to how to face a sorrow, to how to face a misery, a grief, how to, become happy at small things and not to be upset or sad over lost things. So this is what life is, and this is what the writer is trying to tell us. You know something, for a young child, ball is really precious. He never wants to lose his ball, and once he loses his ball or her ball, then that child becomes extremely sad. Clear? That's why an example of ball has been given, but in reality the writer wants to say that the lost childhood or the happy days are the most precious days, or is the most precious time of life. Learn to be responsible towards it. Preserve your innocence. Do not allow your innocence to get, do not lose your innocence in this cunning world. People are there who will be responsible to take away your innocence. But if you are responsible enough to safeguard it, then you can. Alright? And money cannot do anything in it. If you are losing it, you cannot buy it again. Once lost is lost. And no one else can interfere and get you back your happy days. You are responsible for it, and you ought to preserve it. That's all for this poem, children. Thank you, and hope you have understood it.